Would you be more concerned about this or people in the subway knocking people onto the tracks? Would you be more concerned about this or people going into the stores and robbing and stealing and walking out so the store has to close and the security guards can't do anything? Would you be more concerned about this than people knocking you down in the street, getting arrested, going into court 5 minutes, coming out 5 hours later with no bail to repeat the crime? These are the things that are happening in this. This is what we need to focus on and we need to fix. Hey everyone, welcome to another Sit Down with Michael Franzese. Hope everybody's doing well. All is very blessed on this end. And as always, we give God all the praise, honor, and glory for that. Let's get back on track today. You know, I read something in the New York paper about a week ago, and I've seen a lot of comments about it, so I thought I would talk about it. Actually, I'm going to read the article. Many of you are familiar with it already, but I'm going to read the article. I'm going to go through it paragraph by paragraph and tell you some of the issues that I have with it. And we'll take it from there. These things just never end, it seems. But let me read it to you. The feds bust Genovese Bonanno mobsters and a dirty New York cop in a wide-ranging gambling scheme. Gambling. You know, every time we hear these busts, it's the garden variety bust that all mobsters get involved in all the time. And it's the same old. But this one has got me a little bit, and I want to talk about it. We're in a different time right now than we were back in the 70s and 80s. Different time during my era. But let's go through it. Let me discuss it. I'll give you some of my thoughts. Hey, agree with me, disagree with me. I know you're always vocal with your comments, but that's good. That's what this is all about. It's a debate. It's a discussion. I give you my point of view, and I hear back from all of you. Okay, here we go. Just when you thought they were out. I guess you remember that line, Al Pacino, Godfather 3. Not a great movie, but Pacino's terrific as always. 8 alleged mobsters and a crooked Long Island cop were busted Tuesday in a wide-ranging gambling scheme that prosecutors pointed to as proof that the Mafia hasn't gone anywhere. Did anybody think that the Mafia went anywhere? We've still been reading about it. They've still been busting guys. We had probably 2 or 3 busts in the last year, you know, of major significance to law enforcement. I don't know how much the society really cared about it, but they haven't gone anywhere. It's different. We've talked about that in the past, but they're not going anywhere, and they're not going anywhere in my lifetime. Just different now. In an unusual alleged arrangement, the members and associates of the Bonanno and Genovese crime families worked together to run a gambling operation out of a coffee bar, the Grand Cafe in Lynbrook, beginning at least a decade ago in May 2012. There's nothing unusual about this arrangement. The families work together all the time. I don't know where they come up with something like this. You know, a lot of people think that families go to war and we have all of these disputes. That ended in the 30s and the 40s. Families don't go to war anymore. They don't do that. Whenever there's a war, it's a civil war. And many of you know I was a Colombo family guy. We had a lot of wars. We were probably the most warring family, but it was a civil war. Didn't go outside. And it's not an unusual arrangement. Families work together all the time. They did it in construction. They did it with the unions. They did it in gambling operations. That's a wrong statement made here. The 2 organized crime families also allegedly ran illegal poker games and gambling machines out of several soccer clubs in Queens, Valley Stream, West Babylon, and out of a front called Sal's Shoe Repair in Merrick, the feds say. I got to tell you, people, this really gets me. A couple of guys get together, they want to play poker. What's wrong with that? So somebody organizes the game, and they take a little cut for providing the food and the coffee and the location. They take a little cut out of the winnings. What's wrong with that? The feds are involved in gambling. Taxes are created in gambling. It's legal. So if you want to get together in somebody's house and somebody wants to host it and you're paying a guy a little bit for it, there's something illegal about it. Do you understand the hypocrisy in this? I mean, think about it. What's wrong with that? People want to get together in somebody's house and have a poker game and pay the person that put up the location and maybe serve some refreshments. You want to take care of them a little bit. What's wrong with that? Now, right away, you're going to say, well, wait a second, Mike. Well, people get their legs broken and all that. Stop. That doesn't happen. When you sit down and have a poker game, people play poker. And if they get into debt, they don't always get their legs broken and all of that. Some people, you watch the movies too much. This did not happen all the time. In some cases, yes. But let me explain something to you. If you go to Vegas and you have a marker and you don't pay the marker, they'll come after you civilly for a while. But if you still can't pay or don't pay, then they prosecute you criminally and they send you to jail. They can send you to jail for not paying a gambling debt in a casino. Do you think the government goes easy on you? No. You know what this is all about? Them not collecting their tax money. The government doesn't want you doing anything that they can't collect their tax money or get their piece out of. That's what this is all about. And this is the most important thing going on in society today. You're worried about a poker game that a couple of guys are running out of a shoe store or somebody's home in Valley Stream. I don't see the big deal in it. I know some of you are going to say, come on, Michael, you're advocating for organized crime. No, I'm not. It doesn't have to be organized crime that runs a poker game. Just to me, there's hypocrisy in this, where in 40 some odd states you have legal gambling, taxes are being collected, and people that don't pay, they face penalties and consequences over it. Believe me, they do. So this to me is a bit hypocritical. Sorry. Today's arrests demonstrate that the Mafia continues to pollute our communities with illegal gambling, extortion, and violence while using our financial system in service to their criminal schemes. Using our financial system? What does that mean? In other words, when you've collected some money that you don't want to pay tax on, that's using our financial services. Can I ask you a question? Does everybody want to pay tax on every dollar that they make? Don't answer that. But you people know it. If you collect some cash sometime, you don't want to pay tax to the government. Do you realize that everything we do is taxed? The food we eat, the transportation we give in, the house that we buy, the clothes on our back, everything is taxed. Everything. So some people try to keep a little bit for themselves. What does the government do with this tax money? Did you ever ask yourself that? Read my book, Mafia, Democracy. It'll open your eyes on what the government does with some of this tax money. Do they have to collect taxes? Of course they do. Do we have to run the government? Of course we do. We understand that. But there is a limit, people. There is a limit to this. And this is all about the government not getting their piece. That's what it's all about. Organized crime polluting the community. I can tell you a lot of other things that are polluting community. How about all the illegal immigrants? Illegal, remember what I'm saying, illegal immigrants that are being bussed all over the United States. Do you people want that in your town or your community? Do you want your taxes to go up and your tax money to go up to people that are coming into this country illegally? I am an advocate of legal immigration. I am an advocate of legal asylum. I want you to understand that. When people need a place to go to escape something that's happening, that's horrible in their country, I believe the United States should be the haven for that. I definitely agree with that. But illegal immigration, busing these people all over the country in the middle of the night, yes, it's happening. 100% it's happening. Do you want that in your community? Do you understand what it does to your community? It depletes your resources and your finances. And yet they're saying organized crime is polluting the community. Give me a break. Give me a break. This is sensationalized writing. That's not happening. Not anymore, certainly. Nassau County District Attorney Donnelly added, this case is further proof that organized crime is alive and well in our communities. Okay. This indictment sends a strong message that we are committed to rooting out corruption and organized crime. Really? You're committed to rooting out corruption? What about Hunter Biden's laptop? Do you know how much corruption exists in that laptop? There's a 5-year investigation going on with Hunter Biden. We don't know anything that's happening at this point in time. The feds didn't even want to look at the Hunter Biden laptop. Why? Because Joe Biden is president? Because he might be involved? Because there's enough evidence to suggest probable cause that Joe Biden did know that his son was using the power of the vice presidency for personal gain? The evidence is there. It's almost overwhelming. Of course, it's being pushed under the rug. We don't want people to see that. But, get over to Donald Trump and invade his property. I don't care if you like Trump or not, people. That's not the case. It's so obvious that the people that hate Donald Trump are doing everything in the world to destroy him. And some people think that's okay. You know what? It's the totality of the system that you have to watch out for. You can't just target people because you hate them. You can't target people because you disagree with them. There's so much corruption going on in the White House, in our administration right now. I pointed it out. And again, read my book. I'm just telling you that. Don't even buy it. Go on mafiademocracy.com and read one chapter. You don't have to buy the book after that. If you think it's worth it, do it. But if not, at least see what's going on in this country. It's not good, people. You're looking at corruption in the wrong places. Organized crime is not the biggest threat to America anymore. The same way that parents who disagree with our school system are not the domestic terrorists that they've been labeled to be. How could you even justify labeling parents who are interested in their kids' education as domestic terrorists? That's come out of the White House, and that's come out of this administration. But organized crime is the big corruption in our communities. I'm telling you, that's nonsense. It's absolute nonsense. You're being misled. The mobsters and their associates were hit with federal charges including racketeering, money laundering, conspiracy, illegal gambling, and obstruction of justice. I read in the newspaper yesterday that two people walked into a store in Manhattan and they were going to steal, and they started stealing and robbing things, just putting it in a basket and walking out. And one of the security guards, a young woman, stopped them, grabbed the basket so that they couldn't steal. And you know what? They went after her. They punched her. They put her in a headlock. They knocked her on the ground, and then they just walked out of the store. Probably wouldn't even get arrested. That's polluting our communities. It's going on in LA too. Now, steal under $1,000. You don't even get bail. You walk out. That's it. Take $950 worth of merchandise. The security guards won't stop you because they know the police are powerless in doing anything to these people, and they just walk out. It's happening all over the country, specifically in LA. Is that not polluting our community? There are major stores, department stores, that are closing down because of the theft in the stores. They can't handle it anymore. That's polluting our community, not a poker game. That's ridiculous. Prosecutors allege that Polito once threatened to break a debtor's face before instructing an underling in 2019 to relay this message. Tell him I'm going to put him under the effing bridge. Well, you know what? That's just stupid. That's a guy that just, stop already. You realize you're being taped. Stop threatening people. That's just stupid. You know people are watching you. There's surveillance everywhere, informants everywhere. That guy's just dumb. You shouldn't be doing and talking like that anymore because everybody's listening and everybody's watching, and that's stupid. Is he really going to do something like that? Who knows? Maybe. I don't know the personal situation there, but it's just stupid, and that guy should control his mouth at the very least. That is extortion. Not allowed to do that. Okay, prosecutors, that's one for you. I get it. Let's move on. Meanwhile, Nassau County Police Detective Hector Rosario, 49, is accused of arranging police raids at competing gambling dens in exchange for cash from the Bonanos. This is not something that I haven't heard or been involved with in the past. There are times when, police do work with, guys in that life. You got to understand something. In New York, we had 750 made guys during my time. 750. A lot of associates, but 750 guys that actually took the oath. Many of us had relatives, friends, neighbors that were in the police department. They were law enforcement. And yes, at times they did things that we wanted them to do, and they got paid off for it. This is not something new. Is it right? Of course not. The police is supposed to uphold the law. We get it. But, listen, there's corruption in every walk of life, people. We got to understand that. So, unfortunately, this guy's going to pay the price. Is he polluting our community? He's not supposed to be doing what he's doing. So, okay, I see some justification in that charge when it comes to the police. Because remember this, you're never justified when you're in law enforcement in breaking the law to go after a lawbreaker. Not supposed to do that. We're a country of laws, and the people that enforce the laws are not allowed to break them. It's just not the way the system could work. If law enforcement and people in charge can break the law, then we don't really have any law anymore. And that's anarchy. That's something that we really need to worry about. We have to hold law enforcement and our public officials to obeying the law, not breaking the law to catch a lawbreaker. You just can't do that. It's wrong. Moving on. The detective betrayed his oath of office and the honest men and women of the Nassau County Police Department when he allegedly aligned himself with criminals. Listen, I have to say this. There's good and bad in everything, like I said again. And, if police are not sensitive sometimes to things that they should be sensitive to in the community, well, you work on that. It starts from the top. You work yourself down and you fix that. Okay, but defunding the police and eliminating the police is ridiculous. It's not working. We've seen that throughout the years. And hopefully people understand this and they get back to the right way of policing in our country. You know, now this is something that really got me. I cannot believe this. The bails for these gentlemen, and I'll call them gentlemen, why not? The bails range from $150,000 to $2 million for a gambling operation, poker games. There are people now out there robbing and stealing and hurting people in a violent way that walk into, get processed and walk out with no bail. Law enforcement is frustrated. Communities are frustrated in the city of New York because of the no bail laws. And these guys, for gambling, a $2 million bail for poker games because the government can't collect the tax on it. That's what this is all about. They want to make a huge, big deal. These guys are not going anywhere. They're not going on the lam. They're not running anywhere. But I guarantee you, they're making this a racketeering law. And these people, some of them, if they get convicted on this, they'll go to jail for 10, 15, 20 years for running an illegal poker game. When gambling is legal all over the country. We got to catch hold of our government, people. This is not right. It's not safe in our communities. And it's not organized crime that's causing this dilemma that we have all over this country. It's not. People want to make you believe that this is a distraction. There's a lot of things going on in this country that need to be fixed. And organized crime, I'm not advocating for it. Please understand that. I left the life, and I left for a reason. And I've said many times, it's a bad life because it's destructive to families, including my own. Not my wife and kids, but mother, father, brothers and sisters. You know the whole thing. I don't want to repeat it. So I'm not advocating or glorifying organized crime, but you got to call it what it is. This is an illegal poker game. Racketeering for this? Would you be more concerned about this or people in the subway knocking people onto the tracks? Would you be more concerned about this or people going into the stores and robbing and stealing and walking out so the store has to close and the security guards can't do anything? Would you be more concerned about this than people knocking you down in the street, getting arrested, going into court 5 minutes, coming out 5 hours later with no bail to repeat the crime? These are the things that are happening in this. This is what we need to focus on and we need to fix. For some reason, people in our administration don't want to fix it in certain communities and cities and states across this country. Don't let this be a distraction. You know, I always say this. People go after organized crime. You know why? Because it makes headlines. It makes name for them. And we don't resist. People said to me, you know, Michael, what did you do when you got arrested? What did I do? I held my hands out, got the handcuffs on, got in the back of the car, and went and did the process. Nobody has to shoot me. Nobody has to chase me. Nobody has to run me down because I know I can't win. When you can't win something, what are you running from? You know, it's common sense, people. This is not brain surgery. Anyway, I thought I would sum this up and you know, what am I saying here? I'm saying is we need to focus. Our law enforcement and our administration has to focus on what's really going on in our community, the crimes that are really going on, okay, that are affecting everybody in our daily lives. And I live in Newport Beach, California. They're stealing cars left and right there now in Newport Beach, and it's a pretty, you know, good community. I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on in our communities. That's what we need to hold our public officials accountable for. We want to be safe in our communities. We want to walk into our stores without worrying about somebody coming in behind us and hitting us on the head. We want our daughters and our sons to be able to walk down the street and not be concerned. We want to go into the subway and not worry about, you know, somebody coming up behind us and pushing us onto the railroad tracks. All of these things. Yes, organized crime, we should be watching out for it, but not for a poker game, people. I'm sorry. And I don't know these people. I have no axe to grind. I don't know them for a hole in the wall, nor will I. I'm just calling it what it is. That's it for today. We're going to, you know, get back into the groove a little bit. Hope you're enjoying the shorts. You know, listen, I have a great team of editors out there. They're really doing some great work. They're my backup team. Yeah, you know, they're filling in for the stuff that I'm unable to do over the past couple of weeks. But I will be home shortly. At the end of this month, I'll be home. We'll get back into the swing of it. Thank you very much. How do I always leave you? Same way. Be safe. And I think this whole video was about being safe. Be healthy. Got to do that. Take care of yourself. And sincerely, from my heart, God bless all of you. And thank you very much. And lastly, approaching 1 million subs. So if you want to jump in, we appreciate it. You know, that's kind of the mark. When you hit 1 million, it's great. You know, thanks to all of you for getting me there. So God bless. See you next time.